Hello, dear viewers. Time again for the news here on Rwanda Television. My name is Serge Nhore. We'll begin with the headlines. The IMF has assured Rwanda that the fund will continue supporting the country's projects geared towards environmental protection efforts. The Rwandan government has urged its general public to actively resist those who use online social media sites to try and tarnish the country's image, but by instead telling the truth and showing it through established facts. Officials in Rwanda and Tanzania have reiterated their commitment to strengthen the bilateral ties of the two countries through various sectors that include investment in agriculture and boosting cross-border trade. Now the details. Thank you again for joining us. The International Monetary Fund has assured Rwanda that it will continue to support the projects that are geared towards environmental protection. We begin this edition with Adam's Kwizera.
We try to figure out ways to scale up climate finance.
The Deputy Director of the International Monetary Fund, Bulletin, on Monday held discussions with various institutions on the implementation of projects for clean economy, including the investment of Ireme Invest, which was launched by the President of the Republic of Rwanda, Paul Kagame, with an initial capitalization of $104 million. Through the IMF's Resilience and Sustainability Trust, IMF pledged $319 million in early concessional financing to advance efforts in building resilience against climate change. The Minister of Finance and Economic Planning, Dr. Uzien Ndagijimana, appreciated the partnership of Rwanda and IMF.
I'm very pleased by your prompt response by appointing a task force to work with our team to explore all options. And since then, we have had different interactions remotely. Soon after, we had a conversation with EIB, with the Vice President, who also expressed the support to RST. And we have continued to have online discussions, and this morning we are all gathered here physically to use this one-day meeting to go through all possible ways to mobilize both private and public resources to support our NDC by 2030.
IMF's Deputy Managing Director, Bulletin, pointed out a unique opportunity for Rwanda to continue advancing its climate agenda while enhancing its macroeconomic resilience.
I want to congratulate Rwanda for its vision and for being proactive in taking climate action forward. Rwanda's RSF approval, this is also the first for a low-income country, is a testament to the country's good climate policies and track record to address climate change. Rwanda has identified ambitious measures to support a green, inclusive, and growth-oriented development pathway, despite contributing only 0.003% of global greenhouse gas emissions.
Minister of Environment Jean-D'Arc Mujamaria noted that efforts to advance climate policy reforms to help to reach its NDC goal of 38% emissions reduction by 2030 and being carbon neutral by 2050 in line with Vision 2050 requires collaboration.
We have to do everything together and do it in the right way. And of course, we have to be accountable to our people. When we are talking about reducing greenhouse gas emission, we are talking about health. I remember when we had discussion with the World Bank, I was saying, you can talk about health without talking about environment. You can talk about development without thinking about environment. Because being Minister of Environment is like being Minister of Life. Life is based on environment.
Financial institutions and commercial banks have also noted that they are ready to support the government in programs related to green investment facility, accelerate priority, green public sector investments, and reduce the country's external indebtedness to free up fiscal space for much-needed green investments. Adam Squizera, RTV News.
The plenary session of the Chamber of Deputies in Parliament has approved a bill on the accession of Rwanda to the protocol to eliminate illicit trade in tobacco products that was adopted in Seoul back in 2012. Adams continues.
Before passing this law, some members of the parliament asked why smoking is not completely eliminated in Rwanda. As to that, it harms the lives of smokers and non-smokers.
Itabi, kimwe na cannabis.
Tobacco and cannabis are classified as drugs, but for the cannabis itself, it has another side, for it can be used as a treatment. Then I asked myself, why can't you even eliminate the cultivation of tobacco as well?
The problem are not smokers, the problem are the sellers. Then, Speaker, I want the Minister to explain if there are some measures they took. The State Minister in the Ministry of Health, Dr. Ivan Butera, noted that this law is one of the things that will help the government to discourage the use of tobacco based on the strategies that are being put in place to make tobacco use be controlled in Rwanda, hence to protect non-smokers. It be either consumers and sellers. There are some laws regarding to this law of 2013 of prohibiting the advertisement of tobacco, even selling it to the consumer below the age of 18. Yes, there are some measures we took, but the good thing is that tobacco consumption is at low level by now. The Ministry of Health says that this law will help the government to prevent the smuggling of cigarettes from other countries, which will have an impact on the implementation of the measures taken in order to keep discouraging the use of tobacco in Rwanda. Adam Squizera, RTV News.
University students say they are happy about the way government loans are dispersed because innovation has made it possible for them to receive them via their phones and not have to go and queue up at banks. Betty Mutoni with the details.
Since the last year, the use of technology in paying loans, a system known as Minuza system. This system is a platform for the students to ask questions and get the feedback. Loans that have been given through banks can now be given through mobile money, as it is explained by Rurangwa Wilson, the head of education portfolio management at the Development Bank of Rwanda.
We have our account wallet in Airtel Money, and we also have our wallet in mobile money. The time we get money, transfer it on our account of Airtel and MTN, and they also transfer it on our wallet. After reaching, we immediately pay the students on our channel of Airtel and MTN.
In different times, students who receive government loans were heard expressing the delay of these loans until 2015, where the National Umushyikirano Council gathered and ordered the people in charge to end this problem. While visiting different universities, students noted that this problem no longer exists. It was hard before, because you'd find people going to line up at the bank. But now we transfer it on our mobile money. So it is easier for us than lining up at the bank. We are happy, we get it on time and at ease, and they don't charge us a lot of money. Before it was hard to get a loan, because some people would go and they are told to come back the next day to get it. But now it is easy because of technology. We used to line up at the bank waiting to receive money. You find there are very many people, and sometimes you could miss or delay in lectures because of that. But after the use of technology, it is now easy. You just go and transfer your money without lining up. Since October 2015, when the Development Bank was given the task of providing and demanding government loans given to the students, the new technology of giving loans to the students through mobile money solved many problems, including time taken to reach them.
It would at least take us not below 2 weeks for payment preparation, but with Minoza, which we started using, now it can take 1 day.
Until the year 2021, 215 billion of loans were given to the students, and 90% of them are known to their workplace. And about 29,000 students have already paid their loans, totaling to 21 billion since the year 2016. Betty Mutoni, RTV News.
You can have your caps on.
The government of Rwanda has urged the general public, especially young people, to counteract those who seek to tarnish the country's image online using social media sites by showing the truth. We have more on that with Jessica Agasaro.
The Rwandan delegation, led by Eastern Province Governor Emmanuel Gasana and a group of investors, made their counterparts from 7 districts of Akagera Province in Tanzania. The meeting was also attended by the ambassador of Rwanda in Tanzania, Major General Charles Karamba, and the
social media sites and other forms of media are the tools those who do not wish Rwanda well have chosen to tarnish its image. The Minister of the National Unity and Civic Engagement, Dr. Bizimana Jean Damascene, says that this is a part of a long-term plan of the government that committed the genocide against the Tutsi after its defeat, and many of its members fled to Zaire, which later became Democratic Republic of Congo.
It was in 1996, an announcement from the man who was in charge of military intelligence, called Juvenal Bahufite, who created a campaign which was a propaganda of working together and showed that there was never any genocide in Rwanda. That all happened was caused by RPF, and RPF killed many Hutu people. They even had a planned way on how they will use the media, and they mentioned that they will use BBC and VOA. They even mentioned some journalists that I won't mention here yet. They are people who are accepted to be used so that they can bring a good image of that government which committed genocide, and that they're still doing it right now in Congo. And they created another lie, a very strong lie, called Empire Hima Tutsi, which meant that there was a plan of putting together Hima and Tutsi in the region, who are led by President Kagame and President Museveni, to take all the 3 countries, Burundi, Rwanda, and the eastern part of Congo, to be governed by the Hima Tutsi. And this is what they keep calling balkanization. That is the lie, and the hate they keep spreading among the Congolese.
At this time, the Congolese government and its allies have increased their effort to spread lies that tarnish Rwanda's image in the international arena, as the deputy spokesperson of the government of Rwanda, Alain Mukurarinda, explains.
The lawyer Gims, they gave him 600,000 euros so that he can insult our president on the final day of the World Cup, and Gims is better than that player in having more followers on his social media account. And if you choose to say something bad, knowing that millions of people will see that, but it was known by everyone, and they told him to stop, maybe he went with the money. This is what I'm telling you. We need the youth to stand, not to insult people, or fight back, to speak up. If they have to ask us, we will give them the true information.
Some of the youth who are determined to challenge those who are in Rwanda also say that they cannot accept that a lie is given the throne.
Those people think normal death doesn't exist in Rwanda, and they think that when someone dies, it's the government that killed him. And that is the one thing that disturbs me, because for me, Rwanda is like my own family. When someone attacks your home, you have to defend it in every way.
Social media is our weapon now. Unlike before, when the country was liberated using guns and bullets, that was all they had then. Now, as the youth, we have a voice and our phone to use. We use social media in general. That is the reason why the Minister of National Unity and Civic Engagement, Dr. Bizimana Jean Damascene, is asking everyone to make it their own initiatives.
Working together is the choice we made, but we work together in good, but also in bad times, so that we can put together our efforts to deal with this. His Excellency our President uses diplomacy abroad to show the truth, and we must support his efforts. On that, all of us will have to show the truth and protect our country and know that it concerns us because the future belongs to us. Also, when we say the truth, is to avoid that what happened before repeat itself, and the youth is in charge of that, to keep good image and keep well-developed, peaceful country.
Disproving the rumor about Rwanda and showing the truth of what Rwanda have chosen is one of the resolutions of the 2015 National Umushyikirano Council. This year's gathering is just 1 week away. Jessica Agasaro, RwandaTV News.
Rwanda and Tanzania have reaffirmed their commitment to cooperation in various sectors that include investment in agriculture, boosting cross-border trade, the rearing of modern livestock, as well as good relations between the peoples of the two countries. We have the details with Adam Squizera.
The Rwandan delegation, led by Eastern Province Governor Emmanuel Gasana, and a group of investors met their counterparts from 7 districts of Akagera province in Tanzania. The meeting was also attended by the ambassador of Rwanda in Tanzania, Major General Charles Karamba, and the representative of Tanzania in Rwanda, Major General Richard Makanzo Mutayoba. The governor of Eastern Province, Emmanuel Gasana, noted that this meeting resulted to the improvement of good relations between two countries, where he also pointed out that these two provinces have a long history. Ambassador of Rwanda in Tanzania, Major General Charles Karamba, in his interview with one of the radio in Tanzania, reiterated on the impacts of this meeting. We discussed in depth about business and investment. Akagera province showed the investment opportunities, as well as the group from Rwanda also shown their investment opportunities in Eastern province of Rwanda, and their traders from both sides witnessed it. On the side of Tanzania, there was Governor of Akagera, Albert Chamira, as that the two sides discussed on the investment opportunities as well. Adam Squizera, RTV News.
Now a look at Rwanda's efforts to increase the country's tax base by using the income tax on online businesses. We have more on that.
The law establishing income tax published in the Special Offers Gazette on the 28th October 2022 is the one that provides that in the first year of the publication of this law, an online businessman will earn about 720,000 without tax, and between 720,000 and the currency up to 1.2 million, he will pay tax of 20% of his income, while from 1.2 million Rwandan francs, he will pay 30%. There are exchanges of goods and service that are carried out in the country for the domestic and foreign buyers market, as well as traders working outside the country for the Rwandan market, all done online. Some business owners who uses this social media platform think they don't have tax problem, but they just want their concern addressed.
Ayo mafaranga nzaba ninjije sinzi niba bazayabara nakuyemo.
I don't know if they count the money I earned after deducting what I pay at home, for electricity, for the houseboy, after buying stuff online. For example, if they find that my account book showed that I've earned $2,000, but I made a consumption of $1,600, maybe they can tax the remaining $400. This is to say, I think the law will be well respected if they consider all the details, otherwise this is not important.
Magana ane nasigaranye nukuvuga ngo ndatekereza ko umushinga tegeko ibyo bintu niba byose yarabisuzumye ntacyo bitwaye.
The Rwanda Revenue Authority says that it is studying how this activity is carried out with the help of social media on tax authorities, as explained by the Commissioner of Internal Revenue, Batamuriza Hajar.
Ariko uburyo bwo ntiburanozwa neza kuko procedure law itara.
But the procedure is not improved because the legislative procedure is not finished yet. It is now at the level of the assembly. When we improve it and show how the production should be taxed, then there should be a law that gives identification on how this tax will be done, what should be deducted from the production to get the profit. Since they haven't confirmed yet, they will continue with us after the consultation. We will hold the meeting to exchange ideas. Among those social media sites that will be taxed is YouTube, which paid $30 billion in 2021 for its distributors around the world, including Rwanda. The chairman of the Committee on Budget and National Assets in the Legislative Assembly, Head of Parliament, Professor Omar Munyaneza, is confident that the tax rate will increase with the tax relief for taxpayers.
All of
us, as Rwandans, when we go on social media, that's where we get all the information, which there are a lot of people who are willing to work on it. So we think to increase the taxes that the country was earning, and we also have to publicize the people who are working on these sites, and we see that it will happen this way. The government wants to simplify the tax, and that's why we see more taxpayers.
The law stipulates that in the second year after the law comes into effect, profits between 720,000 and 1.2 million will be reduced and taxed at 10% of this profit. Profit exceeding 1,200,000 and increasing the tax rate will also be reduced at 20%. Jessica Agasaro, RwandaTV News.
That's all we have time for. I thank you so much for joining us, and I hope you have a great week ahead of you. Goodbye.